All right, continued from the previous video. The reason we create this horizontal line, what it does is it gives us our average monthly of what we need to be saving or what we need to have in place or budgeted for our monthly expenses on an annual basis. So here you'll notice that there are a few months, to name them: January, February, May, July, October, and November. All of these months, I'm well below what I'm going to need for the month. Now, at first you would think, oh, that's cool. Those are going to be really, really fun months because I'll have extra cash. But hold on, because here's the thing. If you look at March, April, June, August, definitely September, and December, in these particular months, you are way over what that average amount is. So in essence, what you need to be doing is on these months, when you are below budget, you need to have the ability to look forward and say, I'm going to need that in the following months because I know I have large bills coming up. So I'm going to put that aside so that when March comes, when April comes, when June, August, September, or December comes, you're not caught not having enough money. You'll actually have what you need and be able to pay your bills with ease. All right, looking at example 5, it says, over the last few months, Kate has spent more than her budgeted amount. Let me move this out of the way here. More than her budgeted amount for her cell phone bill. She decided to track her daily usage to see if she should change plans. Very good idea. When you look at things and you see that maybe I'm not in the right plan, and maybe it was the right plan for her when she got it, but it could be that things have changed and it's not right for her now. She went online to her cell phone account and got the usage data at the right for the last 3 weeks. Construct a multiple line graph to identify Kate's usage trends. So in order for time and the ability, just because of this medium, I've gone ahead and I've created it for you. But I would like for you to be able to practice and go into, you can go into Word and you can create a graph. And I'd really like for you to try and see if you can copy what I have created here. So basically you'll see at the bottom here, it breaks it down Monday through Sunday. And then on the side here, my x-axis is how many minutes she spoke. And you can see week 1 is the blue line, week 2 is the red line, and week 3 is the green line, kind of an olive green line. So looking at this, what are some things that we can say about this? Well, some trends that I see is early in the week. So when I'm looking at this, it looks like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and even Thursday, really, those months aren't my problem. My problem falls on the weekend. Here's where I seem to be getting myself in trouble. So I might look and see, is there a weekend plan, something where I have unlimited plan on the weekend? And as far as constructing this, you can see, I just want to identify a few of them for you. Looking at this, Monday in week 1 was 18 minutes. And you'll see right there, I'm at 18 minutes. Tuesday was at 17 minutes. Wednesday was at 12 minutes. Thursday was at 19 minutes. Friday was at 24. Saturday at 35. And Sunday at 30. So that's how I constructed this. So this is a good way to look at it when you have bills and you're looking at it and something's just not quite looking right and it looks like you need to make some changes. This would be a good way to go. So examine the following line graph depicting Claire's electric usage for the first 6 months of the last year. Her electric company uses this data to calculate her monthly budget for electricity, which is the average of the monthly use cost. If it's basically 15.714 cents per kilowatt hour, how much will her monthly budget be? Round to the nearest dollar amount. So please press pause, work on this, and when you're done, come back and we'll finish. All right, the first thing that you should have seen is that I need to find the monthly average. It tells us here it's the average of the monthly usage. So in order to do that, I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, and I need to add them together and find the average or the mean. So the first month in January, she used 800 kilowatt hours. The second and third month, February and March, she used 900. So I'm going to add those in. The fourth month, notice here in April, she only used 500. The fifth month, May, she only used 400. And then in June, she spiked back up to 600. Now I'm going to add all of those values together and divide them by 6, which is going to give me the average. And when I do that, I end up with an average of 700 kilowatt hours per month. I'm going to take that and multiply it by that cost, which is the 0.15714. And so for this, Claire's average monthly bill is going to be $109.99, or it says to the nearest dollar amount, it's basically going to be $110 a month for her bill. How'd you do? All right, last example. It says Beth is a coffee lover. In her budget, Beth has a section for coffee. She has $90 per month budgeted to spend for coffee that she buys at 2 different locations. So GasMart has coffee for $1 a cup, whereas the Perfect Coffee Company has it for $3 a cup. She tries to balance both through the month, construct a budget line graph that shows the different combinations of the 2 types of coffee purchase options, which will allow her to stay within her budget. So let's do that first, and then we'll get on to the second part. So if we say that X is my coffee at GasMart, and Y is the Perfect Coffee Company, I know that it's $1 for every cup of coffee I get at GasMart, and $3 for every cup that I get at the Perfect Coffee Company. And I know that my budget is for $90. Now, whenever we're talking about graphing it, we need to get it into our slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, before I can do anything. So, what I need to do now is get this particular equation into my slope-intercept form so that I can graph it. So the first thing I need to do is subtract x from both sides. And I end up with 3y equals negative x plus 90. Next, I need to get y by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by 3. And I get y equals negative 1 over 3x plus 30. Now, identifying this, remember that I have my m, which is my slope, and I have my b, which is my y-intercept. So I know the point that it intercepts at the y-axis is at 30. And I know that my total amount budgeted is at 90. And so my graph is going to look something like this. It says then, suppose she has to decrease her coffee budget by 20%. Let's identify and graph the new budget line. So let me go ahead and erase a couple of these bits of information here. I'll keep up the first equation. So now it's saying that her coffee budget has now been reduced by 20%, which means now she only has 80% of her coffee budget. 100% minus the 20% means that she has 80%. So 80% of $90 is $72. So my equation is now x for the GasMart plus 3y, which is Perfect Coffee Company. It's now $72. I'm going to follow the same process I did before. I get 3y equals negative x plus 72. divide by my 3, and y equals negative 1/3 x plus, and I've got 24. So now let's go ahead and graph our second equation. I know that $72 is my budgeted amount, and I know that $24 is how much I have for my y-intercept. And notice that they are parallel. It budgets at the same rate to where they will never cross, because why? Because the slope is the same. And if you'll remember in calculating for a slope intercept, and I guess I erased it there, but both slopes were at negative 1/3, so this is how they both are going to graph. In this, my budget lowered, and so did my y-intercept, or my value here. So let's look at the check your understanding, the last you do. And it says, using the coffee budget of $72, suppose that the Gas Mart coffee doubles in cost. Identify and graph the new budget line equation. So go ahead and calculate that, press pause, and when you're ready, go ahead and press start, and we'll get going on this one. All right, so instead of the equation being x plus 3y, remember the Gas Marts doubled their price, so now instead of being $1 a piece, it's $2 a piece. Plus the $3 for Perfect Gas Company, or Perfect Coffee Company, sorry, and it totals $72. Now I'm going to subtract the 2x from both sides, and I get 3y equals negative 2x plus 72. I'm going to divide both sides by that, and I get y equals negative 2/3 x plus 24. So you'll notice there's going to be a little bit of a change here in this equation, because now we're looking at y equals negative 2/3 x plus the 24. So coming down, it still starts at 24, but you're going to find that when you graph it, the new equation looks somewhat like this. So it's definitely changed our slope, it's changed the direction, because she's going to be able to afford much less or a different combination because of that change in the cost at Gas Mart.